And so is Hilary Kennedy from the 4-Minute Buzz. Hillary's been keeping an eye on the big trial, the Jeffrey Epstein trial with Ghislaine Maxwell. And so has she been testifying?
She has not. So we've been hearing from all kinds of people, though, from different accusers, from the second chief pilot that Epstein had that flew most of his planes. We've heard from kind of the house manager. So we've heard from a lot of different people, not from her. But the trial is actually, it's not quite as explosive, I think, as people were expecting it to be. And they're saying it may be a lot shorter than they were expecting it to be, because initially they said 6 weeks. Now they're thinking it may be wrapped up by Christmas. So wow. I don't know. But one of the interesting developments just within the past day, so there was a Twitter account that has been following the tracker trial. It's been providing all of these updates. Well, it was suspended yesterday from Twitter.
What?
It's not the Twitter user's first account using that ID. The account had actually only been active for 2 weeks. It had 525,000 followers when it was suspended. But it was created back in November of 2020, and Twitter sent them a message saying you may not use Twitter services in a manner intended to artificially amplify or suppress information or engage in behavior that manipulates or disrupts people's
I don't understand
experience.
that suspension at all.
It's unusual because they didn't even give them a chance to give a rebuttal and say, hey, wait, explain
But all it
why.
was just links to news stories about the trial. I was
just updates.
depending on those notifications.
But this account has been linked to more conservative-leaning Twitter accounts and sites, because it's not the only Twitter account that
First
it owns.
Amendment doesn't apply then.
But,
No, not to right-wing people. No.
But you can go to patriot1.substack.com, and that gives you all of those updates. Now
same
that Twitter
thing there?
account has been taken down. So, yeah, kind of interesting. And then some updates from the trial that I thought were kind of shocking. One accuser says that she saw a photograph of Ghislaine Maxwell in Jeffrey Epstein's, because he had photos all over his properties, but they saw a photo of her very nude and very pregnant, and she's not known to have had any children. So that was kind of an interesting bombshell.
Whoa.
And also she said she
They
saw
don't
a photograph.
know whose baby it was?
No, but there was another photograph of Jeffrey Epstein holding Ghislaine Maxwell's stomach as if maybe she was pregnant in that photo. So
And
we
there
don't
was
know.
his? Are they speculating, obviously, that it's his?
Because her defense is trying to say that he was this monster and an abuser, and she was also kind of under duress working for him. But there are in that treasure trove, there's like over 20,000 photos, and she's in a lot of them where they're hugging and kissing, and they look very coupley.
Oh, yeah, here they do, for sure.
Oh, there's one picture you sent.
And here.
Yeah.
Well, also some
the foot massage one.
Yes.
It's just don't
That's
touch
gross.
Don't touch my feet.
Some other photos came out also of her giving Jeffrey Epstein a foot massage on one of his planes. A very suggestive photo.
But they're friends, right?
Yeah, they're
Right.
friends.
They're trying to portray that she was under duress working for him, but this is obviously a very playful, somewhat sexual photo. So
Weird.
I think they're having a hard time painting this as if they weren't involved romantically in some way.
She's going away.
But I will say what the defense is doing a great job of is character assassination on the accusers. Two of them are really only fitting the profile of being very underage when this happened. And they aren't referring to them as children. They're saying the young girls, because they really want to paint the picture that these girls knew exactly what they were doing. They were doing it for the money.
Yeah, but they were too young, right? They were 15 or 14, or they weren't of age to make those decisions.
Correct. Some of them were, there are two that are accusers that were around the 17, 18-year-old mark, and they're really trying to discredit them. One of the accusers has schizophrenia. Almost all of them have had some sort of drug problem in the past. So they're really trying to paint these accusers as unreliable, and also there for the money grab, because many of them have already been paid out hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars from the Epstein fund.
To keep quiet.
If you're in court for something like this, are you able to make the case that, they suffer from these conditions because of what they went through?
Right.
Does that apply?
That's what they got to pay out from the Epstein estate because of what they went through. And so the court is saying now you're just trying to sort of capitalize even further, get more money. So it's been tough to read all of the updates of what they're doing with the accusers, because they're really painting them in a bad light. So rather than making it seem as if she wasn't involved, that Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't involved, they're really trying to make it seem like these girls knew exactly what they were doing and focus their energy in that direction.
And they're trying to make her out to be a victim.
Correct.
Ghislaine.
And they're also releasing some more names from the little black book that they found. There were 2 black books, actually, that they found.
That's
in
what
Jeffrey
everybody's
Epstein's
hoping
house.
for, right?
Right.
Let's find out who was really involved.
Yeah. Now, if that trial tracker wants to get their account back, they just need to post something about Trump being brought up.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what's so interesting is there are a lot of names, but we keep hearing things about Trump, which, by the way, you mentioned that the Twitter account, the trial tracker that got shut down, Twitter's saying you're amplifying certain things and it's harmful. Well, what about those Twitter accounts during the election that were outing all of the Trump donors and putting their addresses and phone numbers out there to the public? That went on for months and nothing was done. But so the 2 names that came out this week that were verified by the other chief pilot, whose name was Rogers, Glenn Dubin is a billionaire hedge fund manager. So he and his wife flew on Epstein's planes multiple times, and she actually dated Epstein for about 11 years before marrying this billionaire hedge fund manager.
Awkward.
So very interesting that they continued to spend time with him. They brought their daughters around, went on vacations with him. And then the other name that came out was Marvin Minsky, who was an MIT professor, but he passed away in 2016. But a lot of speculation about his
I saw
involvement
George
as well.
Clooney's name mentioned too, man. This is just crazy
I saw
stuff.
Alec Baldwin. I mean, there are a lot of names. Barack Obama. I saw a lot of names that were
Barack Obama's in it?
Mhm. But again, a lot
shut
of
down that
speculation. So many things are redacted, and the flight logs are so heavily redacted that
So we
hear
don't
a lot
know
of,
where he went on the plane? Obama?
Well,
Do we know he
again,
went to the island, or where did he go?
Like, was it a flight to something
I
else?
think his name was just circulated
Okay.
as being a possible contact, but I haven't seen any hard evidence that he was involved. But so many of those people did rub elbows with him at these charity events in New York, and he was at the White House multiple times. So
Yes, 17 times during the Clinton years.
Yeah, there's a timeline.
Right? Including
no,
3
Clinton,
times.
that was Clinton.
Clinton.
Yeah.
In one day. 3 times in one day. And I think 17 in a year or something. It was a lot of times.
well, there were several times he was there too when President Clinton wasn't actually there as well. So I don't know who he was meeting with or what he was doing when Clinton wasn't there.
Meeting
But he
with
was
Hillary,
also,
perhaps.
Maybe so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So what's it looking like for
Where's this going?
Ghislaine?
I will be surprised if she gets a lot of time for this. Just the way it's been going with the accusers, it really has not been going as well as I think people had hoped. And we aren't finding out as much information as we had hoped for either.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I was looking forward to, was the black book filled with names of people we've heard of.
Yes.
The Prince Phillips and Bill Clinton.
Yes.
Tell you what,
Prince Edward.
You know what,
not
Hillary?
Phillips. Yeah.
You're going to come in here. It's scheduled for a week from today, next Thursday. If you don't have at least, 5 A-list celebrities from the trial,
I need to
don't
get up the
don't
goods.
bother.
More
Don't
names.
bother. Yeah.
Well, they are kind of working their way. This black book that they had, there was also a manual that she used to sort of run the household. She was known as the lady of the house to all the people that worked for Epstein. And in this manual, it basically said, you see nothing, you hear nothing, you don't ask any questions unless someone asks a question of you, you can answer. So there were very specific things, and everyone was very tight-lipped. And even now, people on the stand seem reluctant to give up the goods on the specific names.
Wasn't there a thing
Amazing.
where you can't even look at?
Yeah, don't look at him
Don't look.
in the eyes. Don't look at his eyes at all. Look, if he asks you something, you were supposed to look off into a different part of the room. That's just creepy and weird.
It's very, very demeaning.
Just
but,
weird.
Yeah, but we do know
Yeah.
he liked 3 massages at least a day. So we're finding out little tidbits like that. So,
He was also like 3 other things a day. I was reading in one of the articles, not just massages, but he went a little further than that. Is that been part of the testimony, or
it has been. He liked to receive his massages many times with young girls or children, as it were, wearing schoolgirl uniforms. He liked that. There's a picture of his massage room that we have where, you can just see the walls lined with massage oils and lotions. And so he was a very avid fan of massages, apparently. And they even put out,
Apparently, yeah.
they were putting out an ad. They found a flyer that they
right,
believe
massage.
Ghislaine Maxwell had typed up that was like, looking for a massage therapist for Palm Beach. Excellent pay. I'm sure it was.
all right? All right. Well, it's fascinating. Any indication when it's going to wrap up? You said it's going to be maybe shorter than everybody anticipated.
I think so. They think it may wrap up before Christmas. Some people have said maybe by the middle or end of next week. So I don't know, but I think it may not go on as long as we thought.
All right. We'll check back with you. Thanks, Hilary.
A-list celebrities, remember.
And watch for her on the 4-Minute Buzz coming up in about 14 minutes.